What's up everybody, my name is Cap and welcome back to the channel for another Minecraft video. It has been a good few years since my first beginner's guide video, and that video did extremely well, just passing 2 million views not too long ago, so thank you very much. Have had a ton of people asking me when I was going to do a part 2, and I finally decided it's time to do one. In the first video, I showed you how to navigate the interface, what your inventory looks like, how to make tools and basic weapons, how to make a crafting bench, how to make a furnace, etc. And I'll put a link in the cards in the video description down below if you never did see that one, so you can go kind of get a feel for the basics. So in this one being part 2, I want to show you how to make your first beginner house, how to make a bed so that you can set a spawn point, and a few other little tips and tricks that'll help you get started in the game. So let's just get right to it. As you can see, I have a few resources that I've already gathered that you would probably get early on. You have a pickaxe, an axe, a shovel, a sword, some dirt, some cobblestone, my furnace, my crafting table, and a torch that I have made here. So basic level supplies. I can highly recommend your first house you make can be something simple. It doesn't have to be something complicated. You can make it a regular dirt house, and in fact, that's one of the easier ways to get started. If you haven't made any tools, I would recommend making at least a wood shovel, because it makes chopping down grass blocks to be able to get dirt a whole lot faster. If you don't have any tools whatsoever, you can knock these down by punching them. It does actually work. It just takes a little bit longer to go about doing so. So that is the first thing you want to do if you're just trying to get a basic level dwelling just to kind of keep you protected through your first night or two. Now, something else that you're going to see as you're chopping up dirt blocks is every once in a while, you're going to find these wheat seeds. Now, hang on to those when you get those, because I'll show you how you can use those to start your first garden. So, let's go through and grab a bunch of dirt real quick, and I'll show you a quick and easy way to get your first house started. Okay, now I got a decent stack of dirt. That's a good start here, kind of cleared out a small little area to get it flat. Again, you don't have to have anything super complicated to get going here. There's nothing that says your first house has to look like a castle. Most people's first houses are little dirt huts. Alright, so with your dirt in your tool belt at the very bottom, when you move it over space, you'll see it kind of highlights it with a little bit of an outline. All you have to do is just right click it and it will place it wherever you're pointing it. So you can kind of eyeball out here. I'm going to do a 5x5 just because it makes it a little bit easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to leave a space for a door. Now, as you start going up, what you'll have to do is you'll have to climb up as you are going about stacking the blocks here. If you accidentally place one, of course, you can always just break it and put it back down again. Now, a tip that you can use right off the bat after you start playing, and it is something that we use quite often in the game to really help us out, is using a tip called what a lot of us refer to as nerd pulling. And as if you look straight down on the block that you're standing on, where it's highlighted there, if you jump up and right click at the same time, jump and then right click, you can stack blocks directly underneath you. So if you're trying to make a place to hide real easily, you can make a little tower to hide on top of, and this will keep you safe from most of the mobs, give you an idea of a way to look around, kind of see things out there, and then just dig your way back down, and as you dig it back up, you'll get all those blocks back. So that's just called nerd pulling. It's a basic level tool, but if you're trying to figure out how to get up a little bit higher and you can't quite reach it by jumping, because you can jump and stack here. You can just stack one in the corner, and then as you go around, you can just point them at the corners like this. So I'm going to get the rest of the walls kind of put up here for a basic level house, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, that's pretty simple. Again, all we're doing is setting up a base just to kind of have a place to put our things down for the night so that we can call ourselves safe. I would recommend putting a roof on the top of this if you're able to. If not, it's not a requirement. But the reason I would suggest that is because having straight walls like this, if you find some spiders, there's a chance what they could do is crawl up your wall and get inside your house. Now, in Minecraft, there is no defined gravity, basically. So you can stack blocks in the air and they just kind of float there. So I'm going to get a few more dirt blocks here just so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. If you have a block like this, and you break the block underneath it, it's still going to float. Fortunately, Minecraft makes it really easy to build things because there is no gravity. So that is something you can use as an advantage or as a design choice if you would like, is that you don't have to worry about whether or not the blocks are actually touching anything. There's nothing that's going to cause them to fall down. Okay, so you have your very first ugly house. Now, of course, it's going to be really dark inside. When you have a dark space in Minecraft like this, where it's really shaded, the game sees this as a potential place to spawn in mobs. So you do want to make sure you have some form of a level of light going on. But for your first house, it's not a big deal if it's just a 3x3. I'm going to put my furnace in there. I'm going to put my crafting bench in there so that I know exactly where everything is. This is going to be my home. Now what I need to do is I need to go get some wood real quick. So let's chop down a tree just to get some wood, because I need to show you guys how to make a couple other things that you're going to want to put inside your house early on. Okay, that's enough supplies for now. Now, just to make life a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the torch I had earlier, and I'm going to place it inside the house so that you guys can see when I'm showing you what I'm doing next here. Okay, so one of the first things you may want to do is to go into your crafting bench, and you're going to take your wood that you have in your oak planks, and what you want to do is to put them in the shape of a picture frame, like you're making your furnace, but you do it with wood. That's going to give you a storage chest. This is where you're going to put all of your extra items. You can put this pretty much anywhere you want to. It can be put up high on the walls if you want to, but just keep in mind that if you put it up like right here, and there's a block directly above it, the game sees that as blocking the lid and it won't let you open that. So you can technically just put it on top of things like this and it won't really affect it. You can still open your furnace, and now you can open your chest. And you can see right here it gives you about a 9x3 grid. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9x3. You have quite a bit of space there to be able to put some of your precious junk. But if you go through and you make yourself another one, if you make a second chest and you put it right next to the first chest, now it combines the two of them and you have a much bigger chest here. So now you can see you have a 9x6. So it gives you considerably larger amounts of room. So I would highly recommend, if you have the resources, to make a much bigger chest. But oftentimes what people will do is they will make a chest for their material they have, like their dirt, their sand, their stone. They have a chest for their food, a chest for their weapons and tools. It just kind of depends on how you want to go about organizing it. It's completely up to you. Okay, so now that we have furnace, we have a crafting table, and we have a storage chest. Something else I would recommend doing is going in, take your wood planks, and create a door. Now it gives you 3 of them when you do this, but that's okay. So when you have your door, of course you want to be able to place it. Whichever side you're facing is the side that is going to put it in facing outside here. So right now I'm on the outside of the house. If I right click to place it there, it's on the outside of the wall here. But if I go through and I break this down, and now I get ready to place the door on this side, it's on the inside of the house. And you right click to open and close the door. So you want to make sure that you're facing the right direction, because if not, then your door is on the inside of the block. So just place it facing the direction that you want it to open up. There we go. And I'll go ahead and seal that off. Now you have yourself a house. Yes, it's ugly, but it'll work. It'll keep the mobs from getting to you. It'll protect you from the weather. So if it starts raining, you don't have to worry about getting wet. It's ugly, but it works. And like I said, most people start off making a regular dirt house. Now the next thing you want to do is you're going to try and look around and find some sheep. Sheep also provide a source of food, but what you want early on in the game is to go ahead and kill some of the sheep, and that will give you some wool, this white wool. You're going to need 3 of them. So you need to pick up all the meat that they have, because you can also cook the raw mutton and be able to cook that in your furnace. So let's go through and kill a few more sheep and get some more wool that we're going to need. There we go. That's 3 of them. So we have our 3 white wool here. Okay, inside your crafting table, what you'll take is your wood planks. You put 3 down at the bottom and 3 wool on the top of it here. And that's going to give you a white bed. Depending on which color wool you have, will give you different colors of beds. So if you're wanting to have something stylized, you can eventually dye wool, or you can buy wool of different colors. But regardless, it all does the same thing. So I'm going to take my bed and put it down to my active toolbar here. Now what you want to do is you want to figure out exactly where you want to place this. So I'm going to put it like right here. It takes up 2 spaces. And put it right there. Now what the bed does, and why it is so important, is Once it becomes nighttime, as long as you're safe, which if you have a small house like this, you're totally safe, you can walk up to it and right click it, and it will allow you to go to sleep. So it's either nighttime or during thunderstorms when it's dark outside. If you right click it, you go to sleep, it'll fade out, it'll fade back in, and you wake back up during the actual next day. So for anybody that doesn't want to have to deal with it being dark, because it is very dark, that is the fastest and easiest way to get to the next day. Also, you saw when I right clicked it, it said respawn point set. That is the other big thing about having a bed, is that once you set it down and you click it, that is now your respawn. So if you die, you'll spawn back inside your house. If you don't have a bed set, then you will spawn back in wherever you started when the world was created. And so if you've wandered a good little ways, you could end up having to walk a long ways to get back to where you started from. Now, something I would definitely recommend is go ahead and do like I showed you in the first video and make a decent chunk of torches. I'll start off with just 8, makes life a little bit easier. Put another one in here, keeps it nice and lit up. It's hard to tell how much light it's going to provide during the day because everything is pretty well lit. But I can say it's a good idea to go ahead and place a bunch of torches all the way around your house, facing in as many different directions as possible. And if you have a bunch of extras, it's not a bad idea to go ahead and place some on the ground as well. And again, you can make torches inside your inventory. You don't have to have a crafting table to make those. But having the extra torches laying around, again, will help prevent mobs from spawning in because, like I said, they like the dark. And it also helps you to be able to see if you have to venture out at night because it does get very, very dark. And I will go inside and show you what it looks like once it gets dark. Okay, and now it is dark outside, and you can see how well lit the inside of your house is. Even with 2 torches, it's still a little bit dim, so it doesn't hurt to put any more torches. You can put as many as you want to in here. It's not going to hurt anything other than just taking up a space. Now, let me show you what it looks like outside. You can see it is incredibly dark, and that's what the moon looks like. But having these torches out here, it is pretty well lit. That'll keep things from spawning in next to your house. They can, of course, spawn in wherever they want to later on down the road and walk over here. But for the most part, this will allow you to be able to step outside and get a little bit of safety there to be able to gather up some more dirt or gather up some more wood or whatever have you that way. Okay, so I cooked the mutton that I had here just because, like I showed you in the first video, your food goes down over time and I want to make sure I have some. Now, if you did happen to find some wheat seeds while you were doing all of your digging up of the dirt, because it is at random, something I would recommend is to make sure you have your hoe, whether it's wood or stone, it doesn't necessarily matter, and find yourself a source of water. And it helps if there's already dirt blocks right here with grass on it. If not, you can always place dirt. But something you can do, as long as you're next to a water source, very basic level farming. If you right click a block that's next to water, you'll see it is now tilled dirt. And when you have it this way, as long as there's water next to it, it'll stay hydrated. Now you can till dirt all the way over here, and you can see that it's dry. It doesn't have anything. You can't grow anything there because there's not any water next to it. This is actually tilled. So then what you do is take your wheat seeds that you have in your tool belt and right click it, place it so that it's growing right next to the water, and now you are growing wheat. It takes a little while to grow, and once it finishes growing, you'll see the blocks are showing up as hydrated right here. Once they've finished growing, then you can harvest those and you have pieces of wheat. And once you have enough wheat, I'll show you what you can do with that next. Go back into your crafting table, and if you take the 3 wheat that you just got and place them 3 in a row, that'll give you a piece of bread. It does provide some nutrients, so you can just eat it, and eventually there are other recipes, I believe, that you use to make bread as well. But just from being able to get a few seeds from breaking apart some dirt and growing them next to the water, it's a pretty fast and easy way to kind of get early started. You can see it's already growing a little bit. It doesn't take a tremendous amount of time. And so this is a very quick and easy garden. You don't have to try and find a bucket to move your own water source. Just find one that's already here and use your hoe to till up the dirt around it, as long as there's not any blocks on it there, and you'll have all this hydrated dirt here that you can use to build and grow other things. Makes life really, really easy early on. Alright guys, I hope that was useful to you guys with video 1 and video 2 showing you the very early things, day 1 kind of survival in Minecraft of what to get started. After this, there's a ton of things that you can learn how to do, but this is the very early basics, and this will help you stay alive for a good little while you're still gathering resources. And of course, working on building your gigantic castle, your little dirt hut will hold you over. So if you found the video useful, do me a favor and leave a like on it, and make sure you subscribe if you're not already so you don't miss out on future videos. In the meantime, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later.